Loving without losing yourself. A message to those who love an addict. Hello, friend. If you found your way here, chances are you love someone who's caught in the grips of addiction. Maybe it's your child, your partner, your parent, or your best friend. Maybe you're tired, scared, hopeful, angry, all of the above. I want you to know right now you're not alone. Today I want to speak to your heart, not with judgment, not with perfect answers, but with the kind of truth that comes wrapped in love. We're talking about how to love someone through addiction without losing yourself, how to support them without enabling them. Because loving someone doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Sometimes love means learning how to say no with grace, or by just walking away. When I decided to get clean, it wasn't some grand moment of clarity. It wasn't some rock bottom with a spotlight and a second chance waiting at the door. It was quieter than that. It was waking up one morning and realizing I wasn't tired, bone deep, so tired of being in pain. But even then, I didn't do it just for me. I did it for him. He was my boyfriend, my person, my partner in the high, and the hustle, and the heartbreak. We had been through it all, sleeping on floors, running scams, nursing each other through withdrawals. There was this twisted intimacy in the chaos we shared. So I thought recovery would be another chapter in our story, another struggle we'd face together side by side. But recovery, real recovery, doesn't make space for delusion. And slowly, painfully, I learned that while I was trying to climb out, he was still digging deeper. At first, I convinced myself I could love him into healing, that if I stayed close enough, if I showed him the light, he'd follow. So I stayed in contact. I answered his late night calls when he was high and paranoid. I let him crash on my couch after he disappeared for days. I covered for him, defended him, kept pieces of my old life alive for his comfort, telling myself it was compassion, telling myself it was love. But the truth is, I wasn't in recovery. I was just clean. There's a difference. Because while I was putting substance into my body, I was still feeding the addiction in other ways through him. I was addicted to saving him, addicted to the role of the fixer, the martyr, the one who can make it out and bring someone with them. That mindset almost took me down. I started lying to my sponsor about seeing him. I stopped going to meetings when I knew he might show up strung out. I felt constant guilt, either for not helping him enough or for not being strong enough to let go. It was a slow unraveling, a spiritual release. And then came the night I sat on the floor of my apartment, completely sober, completely shattered, sobbing because I finally realized I couldn't do both. I couldn't stay clean and keep rescuing someone who didn't want to be rescued. I couldn't save him without sacrificing myself. Setting the boundary wasn't some conscious or courageous victory. It felt like death. Telling him I couldn't be in his life while he was still using, that I needed space to protect my recovery, felt like a betrayal. He told me I was fake, that I'd change, and that I was selfish. And a part of me, an old codependent part, believed him. But the truth is, I had changed. I was selfish in the best possible way. I had to start choosing my own life. I had to start choosing peace over potential healing, over history. The silence that followed was brutal. I missed him in ways I didn't know how to describe. Not just him as a person, but the version of me that clung to him, the one that needed someone to save to feel worthy. Letting go hurt more than any withdrawal I had ever went through. But in that silence, I found space to breathe, to rebuild, to sit with myself and not to need to escape, to finally understand that love doesn't mean self-sacrifice, and boundaries doesn't mean abandonment. I chose to swim, and now and then I look back at the past, hoping he has stepped into the water too. The difference between love and enabling. Let's start with something simple but yet hard. Love wants to protect. Love wants to fix. But addiction doesn't respond to protection or fixing. It responds to consequences. And that's where things get painful and real. Enabling is when we soften the consequences of someone else's choice. We pay the bills. We lie to their boss. We give them one more chance again and again, hoping this time it'll be different. But here's the truth. Every time we shield someone from the consequences of their addiction, we may be shielding them from the wake-up call they desperately need. Love says, I will walk beside you, but I won't carry you. Love says you are worthy of recovery, but you are responsible for choosing it. That's not cruelty, that's clarity. And clarity is a form of love too. Love without losing yourself. Addiction doesn't just affect the one who's using. It pulls the people around them in a circle of fear, anxiety, and hyper-responsibility. It can turn a parent into a detective, a spouse into a caregiver, a sibling into a stranger. So let me ask you, how are you doing? Because your well-being matters too. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't save someone else by drowning yourself. Here's a gentle truth. You didn't cause their addiction. You can't control it, and you can't cure it. What you can do is choose love that is strong and clear. You can love them by setting boundaries. I won't give you money, but I'll help you find a treatment program. You can love them by protecting your peace. I can't have you in my home if you're using. You can love them by staying in truth. I believe in your ability to recover, but I won't pretend everything is okay. Sometimes the most loving things we can say is, I love you too much to make this easy for you. Hope, even in the hard places. I know it's hard watching someone you love spiral, disappear, hurt themselves, and sometimes hurt you. There are nights you wonder if they're alive, days you want to scream, moments when hope feels like a cruel joke. But please, don't let addiction steal your light too. There is hope. People do recover, and many of them will tell you they didn't begin the climb out until someone finally stopped enabling them, until love got honest, until the comfort zone disappeared. You are planting seeds even when you don't see the bloom yet. Every boundary you set is a signpost that says, there is a better way. I believe in you enough to let you find it. And even if they haven't chosen recovery yet, you can choose peace. You can choose healing. You can choose to live your life with open hands instead of clenched fists. So here's what I want you to carry with you today. Love is not the same as rescuing. Boundaries are not abandonment. They are protection for both of you. Your healing matters too. You can love deeply without disappearing. You can show compassion without becoming collateral damage. And you can have hope, even if the road is long and winding. If no one's told you lately, you are brave, you are doing enough, and you are worthy of support too. Let's be people who love fiercely but wisely, who hold space, not burdens, who speaks truth, not just comfort, who chooses grace and boundaries and healing every step of the way. Because love, real love, doesn't give up, but it also doesn't give in to destruction. It stands strong even in the storm, and sometimes that's what saves a life. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this episode meaningful, I encourage you to subscribe and stay connected. We release new episodes regularly, and I'd love for you to be a part of the journey. You can listen on your favorite podcast platform, wherever it's most convenient for you. And if you or someone you know is seeking support or isn't sure where to start, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help connect you with the resources and guidance you need. You're not alone. Take care of yourself, and until next time, be well.